As well as sending convicts to Australia, to help build this new colony, the British tempted young couples like Craig's great-great-great-grandparents with the offer of a free passage.
So he came out, sort of fully paid. That's wonderful. And got fed.
And got fed.
And Geelong's quite nice, isn't it? And it didn't have to go via Van Diemen's Land, has it?
Well, that's
As
true.
a convict. Oh, well, that's nice to know.
Now, this here might surprise you.
Births in the district of Ballarat, in the colony of Victoria, OK.
Yes.
Charles obviously moved to Ballarat because this is where the child was born. Yeah, well, this is a Tinworth, isn't it? Edward, father, Charles Tinworth, and Elizabeth Revel. And it says Charles was 26
Yes.
and a minor. That is most interesting. So that may have been actually the driving force behind the whole reason why he left Essex in the first place, thinking, OK, I hear there's gold. Let's get a way out there without having to break the law.
That's right. He did doing the work for
Yeah,
Mrs.
by doing the work for Mrs. Smith. Perfect. Love that. Oh, well done him. They chose to come to Australia when they were 20 and 24, like a young couple that decided to come and work the land. They moved to Ballarat for the gold rush because he became a miner.
To find out more about Charles Tinworth's life as a miner, Craig's arranged to meet Dr. Claire Wright, an expert on the gold rush in the state of Victoria.
It's lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. It's gorgeous up here, isn't it?
Isn't it beautiful? This is Black Hill.
Yeah, I used to come here as a kid, actually. The reason I'm here is because I'd like to find out a little bit more information about my great-great-great-grandfather, Charles Tinworth. I can't imagine what life would have been like, actually, in the gold rush.
When Charles and Elizabeth arrived here, they would have arrived to a tent city of about 40,000 people.
Wow.
So can you imagine everybody living under canvas, not just on 40-degree days with these northerly hot winds, but also in the freezing cold of winter?
Yeah, snow. Well, I've lived through that. And I've lived through the icy, freezing mornings, you know, when I was doing my paper round.
Tens of thousands of miners like Craig's three-times great-grandfather Charles brought their families to live in tents near the Ballarat goldfields. Crowded together with no sanitation, diseases like dysentery and typhoid spread quickly. Charles and Elizabeth were raising their 3 young children in these tough conditions.
For the families that came out here, it was incredibly difficult. And Elizabeth herself didn't have it easy. We have the hospital records.
Elizabeth Tinworth.
She's 34 years old at this stage.
Birthplace, Essex, of course.
She has been hospitalised for a condition called menorrhagia.
Menorrhagia.
Excessive menstrual bleeding.
Oh, no.
Which may have been actually a miscarriage. She was in hospital for 37 days.
That's a long time. Oh, my God, that would have been awful. That's really sad. I mean, you don't often think of that, do you? You think of people striking it lucky, striking it rich, great big gold nuggets, everyone's celebrating, and you forget the hardships that they actually went through.
Claire has brought Craig to an area by the Yarrawee River, where his 3-times great-grandfather used to mine.
Watch your step.
Prospectors could get to work after they'd paid a licence fee to the government for what was known as their claim.
Charles would have been entitled to a 12-foot claim. So it's not a large piece of land, 12 by 12.
No.
In terms of the kind of mining that Charles would have been doing, this gives a really good indication of what it would have looked like on the banks of the creek.
But there is an awful lot of equipment.
That's right. So every miner would have had to purchase that equipment and bring it out here. Hot, heavy, labour-intensive work, not for the faint-hearted.
At the start of the Ballarat gold rush in the 1850s, miners could find loose gold close to the surface of riverbeds and creeks. They'd dig here using pans and cradles to separate the dirt from the precious metal.
After all of the sand and the rock has been dislodged and poured away, then what's left is
Gold!
those
Yeah, the flecks of.
the flecks of gold
Yeah.
left at the bottom.
Wow. It's a lot of hard work for what seems very little reward. It begs the question, did Charles strike it lucky and rich?
Have a look here. This will show you what actually happened to Charles and Elizabeth.
Oh, okay. Insolvency jurisdiction.
This is 1865. It's a little
1865.
hard to see there.
Charles Tinworth.
Charles is filing for
Bankrupt.
bankruptcy.
Oh, no.
The details actually give us a pretty good indication of what's going on in Charles and Elizabeth's life over that 10 years.
Grocers. Oh, that's what they owe them. Oh, grocery goods, 38 quid and 10. Butchers, 17. Bread, boots.
And this one,
Oh, dear. Medical,
medical attendance.
Attendance.
Look at the price there.
18 quid. That would have been a fortune. Oh, what's that? Cash loan.
lent.
Oh, God. He's borrowing cash. More cash, another like £10, another £5. So here, James Tinworth lent him £10. Oh, so
this
James
is his brother.
and Joseph,
Also his brother.
So we had two brothers here in Ballarat. Wow. I mean, when you look at this, the whole total is £107.49. I mean, what on earth would that be in today's money?
Well, it's a lot of money. I mean, it's roughly between £8,000. Clearly, he knew he had no way of being able to pay this off
Yeah. And then just had to go into bankruptcy.
and start again.
What a nightmare. What on earth happened to them? Charles and Elizabeth, I was particularly moved by it, actually, because I thought, you know, that they're real, well, what we would call here Aussie battlers. You know, they really battled on until they could battle no longer. But, you know, good on them for trying. I think that's something to be definitely proud of and something that I can relate to. I'm hoping there is only one way on the Wheel of Fortune when you're down on it, and that's up. So I'm hoping the next part of the story might lift me up out of this little bit of glumness I feel today, you know, about their lives.